At approximately 6:45 this afternoon or this evening, we have stationed around the city our ALPR trailers. That's automatic license plate readers that give us intel when the license plate is read. An officer received a hit that a car had just gone by the 1500 block, correction, the 600 block of the highway where the vehicle came back stolen from a robbery. The officers identified the vehicle as a Toyota. They came, surrounded the vehicle. That's when the vehicle went from US 1 across the grassy median over into Ponce de Leon Boulevard and continued to flee westbound on Ponce de Leon Boulevard. The officers, when he went by one of the officers, he attempted to strike the officer, and that's when the officer discharged his firearm. The vehicle continued to travel westbound on Ponce de Leon Boulevard, where he struck two other vehicles, coming to final rest over here by the UM baseball field. The suspect got out and began to flee on foot. Our officers gave chase and apprehended him inside the baseball field at UM.
So he ran off and then...
So when the second crash occurred down here by the baseball field, the suspect exited his vehicle and attempted to flee on foot into the UM baseball field. Our officers gave pursuit on foot and apprehended him without incident and took him into custody. Right now there are minor injuries with some of the participants in the crash. I believe that we have internal affairs on scene. This is going to be an ongoing investigation because it is involving an officer-involved shooting, and we will update you when we have more information.
So the officer, he was in his car, and then when the crash happened, he got out, and then that's when he discharged his weapon?
No, the discharge weapon, we actually have two crime scenes. We have the one that's back by the Metro Rail, where the subject crossed over and attempted to strike the officer. That's when he discharged his firearm. Then the other officers, there were multiple officers that were coming to the scene, and as they approached the vehicle, he crashed into two other vehicles, civilian vehicles at this location, back over here by the UM baseball field. That's when his vehicle became disabled and he exited on foot, and the officers gave into a foot pursuit.
That scene over there, was the officer in a vehicle or was he on foot when he discharged his weapon?
He was in a vehicle, exiting his vehicle,
and that's when
the officer discharged his firearm.
He was trying to hit the officer's car?
He was trying to hit the officer.
The officer wasn't foot or was driving the car?
He was in a car, but he had exited his vehicle.
He exited the vehicle.
Correct.
He tried to crash the police.
To run over the officer, and that's when he discharged his firearm. The subject was not hit and has minor injuries, I believe, maybe due to the crash. We will know more as the investigation continues, but they did apprehend him without incident inside the baseball field.
So the driver in the stolen car was heading south on US 1?
Correct.
And then jumped across the median that separates Ponce and US 1?
Correct.
An officer happened to be there out of his car, tried to stop him, and then tried to hit him with the car.
Correct.
And then that's when the officer opened fire.
Correct. So what we have is, we have these automatic license plate reader trailers throughout our city. Technology has come forward where we can identify stolen vehicles. This vehicle was stolen in a robbery, and when that hit came up to the officers on the south end from the Gables Police Department converged on this vehicle. That's when he took an evasive move, crossed over the grassy median between US 1 and Ponce as they run parallel, and that's when he headed straight for that officer who discharged his firearm.
What do we know about the suspect?
I know nothing about the suspect as of now. They have him in custody, and they're continuing investigation. I have no information on the suspect.
Age?
Nothing. I will try to get that for you, but at this time I have no information.
Can you talk about the civilians who were injured in this crash over here? How many were there? Types of injuries?
So minor injuries involving a minor crash.
How many people though?
I believe there's two. I don't have a definite answer. I know we have two drivers because there's two other vehicles involved, but very, very minor injuries.
So two cars and then the suspect's
And then the suspect's car, correct.
Is there any information about the robbery that happened this evening?
We're still getting that intel from Miami-Dade Police Department. That's where the jurisdiction where the robbery occurred and this vehicle was stolen from.
US 100 block before it crossed over. You know? Just so that I have it.
Just on just south of Granada. Granada Boulevard.
This is where they got the hit on the way.
They got the hit before Granada, because Granada's about the 1200 block. They got it about the 600 block towards Lejeune, and they started to follow the vehicle, waiting for other officers to show up so that they could take down the subject, and that's when he made the evasive move to go over into the grassy median onto Ponce de Leon Boulevard.
And extend it to UM's involved just because it happens to be right on the side.
Well, remember, UM Police Department are part-time Core Gables police officers, so they're part of our agency. They just service the UM jurisdiction, so we work hand in hand on a daily basis. So they are assisting. I'm sorry, say again? It is a Toyota Camry, correct.
Sorry.
Talk about the traffic situation.
So when this occurred, we did have multiple crime scenes. We had a crime scene that occurred back where the officer discharged his firearm up by the Metro Rail station, and then down here on the 5700 block of Ponce. So Ponce de Leon Boulevard is shut down by UM. We are diverting traffic onto South Dixie Highway.
Were there any cars damaged inside the Metro Rail lock?
I don't know at this time. I do not know what he struck. I do know he struck the two vehicles at this portion of the incident. I don't know if he struck anything inside the parking lot.
Did any members of the UNPD get involved in the pursuit when the suspect entered campus?
I don't know what officers were involved in actually conducting the foot pursuit where they eventually apprehended him. I'll have to get that information.
Any pedestrians injured down there by the Metro Rail station?
No injuries. No.
How many shots did he get off?
I do not have that information. I don't know how many shots were fired.
How far?
Yeah, just one officer involved in the actual discharge of the firearm.
How far into the baseball stadium did he get?
So we're on where we're located now, where his vehicle is. We're on the first base side for identifying markers. He almost got to the third base side before the officers actually caught up to him and apprehended him.
Just the two people that were in the other cars
Correct. Sustained minor injuries. As of now, that's what I have. Correct. They were heading southbound. That's correct. Southbound on US 1, crossed over the grassy portion. It's really not a median. It's the dividing grass between US 1 and Ponce, which run parallel, and then ended up on Ponce, where they came to final rest with the crash that occurred right here at the 5700 block of Ponce de Leon Boulevard.
For the continuing investigation, is it Coral Gables Police that is conducting that?
Yes, we are the investigating agency, and then we're working also with Miami-Dade Police Department because the vehicle was, and the suspect possibly may have been involved in the robbery. He was driving the stolen vehicle, so they're also investigating.